is going on, folks? It is Steiner here with a very special, not an episode of Secondhand Talent. We are here with Matt and Rick from Whale Feral out of Tampa, and we have got an exciting announcement for you. They have a brand new single called Burnin Young coming out March 30th, and they have an EP coming out April 13th. Matt, Rick, welcome to Secondhand Talent. Super excited for you guys.
Hey, thanks for having us, man.
Thank you, bro.
So, tell us a little bit about the single "Burnin Young." If you could describe the vibe of that song in one sentence, how would you?
It's not about child burning.
Yeah, that's the
big
like
message
we're trying to.
Yeah, we're trying to get that across. It's not literally burning your young.
It's the whole reason for this is to get that
PSA.
message out there.
100%.
We're going to amend that, folks, and rephrase the question to allow for that not to be the one sentence that defines the song. So feel free
I
to
think it works.
pick. Unless you want that to be the sentence of your choosing, in which case,
It was almost.
Don't burn your kid.
It was almost called Burnin Young, in parentheses, not children.
Yeah, not children.
But it was too long to fit on the art, and we had to change.
we trust our fans. We trust our fans to know between right and wrong, and between burning your kid or leaving him unburnt. What were you gonna say?
That's now.
It's good to see you again, Steiner.
Yeah, we missed you, brother. We missed you, brother.
It's such a joy getting to talk to you guys because you make me laugh, and even better, your music makes me smile. And I was very fortunate before we recorded this to get to hear the new song. And if I had to describe it in one sentence, it would be similar to something someone said to me recently about a song that I love. It should be the theme song for everything. It's like that. It's like that, like anthem, like intro, like energetic, like wild 180 from what people I think are expecting from you coming from the studio based on what you've previously recorded. I know that may be a run-on sentence as a former English teacher, but I'm going to allow it. Special dispensation for this promo. But really, the track is fantastic. I'm curious, what inspired you guys to go in the studio in this alternate direction into this more energetic electronic pace?
So we actually recorded it at the same time we recorded the deluxe. We literally had one day in our bass player Jeff's studio, and so we recorded the entire deluxe album as far as the studio tracks in one day, took a little break, and then we recorded the EP. So these are all the same session, but these are newer songs than the ones we were playing on the deluxe, which had been around for a long time.
Yeah, we kind of, the recording of the deluxe, we got together and we hit those songs. It was the first time we played together in a little while because we took a little time off. And so that deluxe session was kind of like a bit of a celebration of being able to jam together again. And then we nailed that, and there was kind of a little extra time. And so the EP is like our celebration of that celebration. It was like, cool, we got the deluxe edition out of the way. Let's rip a few bonus tunes. And there was kind of that, this doesn't have to go anywhere freedom to it. And we were leaning more into a new direction.
So that's really interesting to me that you say it came out of the studio session for the live recording of your previous album, Words We Can't Read, and it felt like there was something that was a bit held back from that release. And folks, if you want to hear more about why there's a deluxe edition, check out the full interview coming out later this season. But why did you make the choice? It's interesting to hear that now, to have that sonic freedom, as you put it, that like these tracks don't have to go anywhere. But what was it about certain tracks like Burnin Young that made you want to hold on to it rather than let it out into the ether? Where did that note of pressure come from?
we are serial song holders. So me and Rick as songwriters have a thing where it's like we will just hold on to the good ones until the right moment comes. We're big on not burning stuff early. That's why we re-recorded a lot of our original music, because we knew it wasn't done to the capability we were like able to do it. And so we're big on holding on to music until the right opportunity presents itself to do it, and then letting it out that way.
And do you find that that's first of all, I love the concept of holding on to songs and banking recordings and understanding that this is for the long haul. You know, we don't need to put everything out. Excuse me. We don't need to put everything out all at once. Rather, we can create and be like, oh, this is a thing. Let's maybe put a pin in that for later. You really don't see a lot of that kind of patience in artists these days. There do seem to be, I mean, you look at a band like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, who puts out 30 albums a year. You know, where does that attitude come from?
Well, yeah, I think that some of it, and there's a bit of a chicken and egg thing here. There's some kind of philosophies that we've developed, and then some philosophies that we've taken from heroes of ours. And then there's kind of some things where it's like, oh, do we have this philosophy? And then we see that somebody else that we dig has that philosophy, and it kind of, but I know somebody that we've talked about recently that's done this is Bruce Springsteen. He just unveiled Electric Nebraska that he's been sitting on for God knows how long. It was like, hey, now's the time. And we didn't even know of that's existence when we did this, but that's like a kind of coincidental, like, yeah, hey, he had this more acoustic-y album and then came out with this electric version. We didn't put 20 years between ours. We did about 1 year. But yeah, it's that kind of, he's certainly somebody we look to in a couple regards, and that's an example of that I've seen recently. But I don't know that we didn't know about that yet when we were doing this, so it was pure chance. But it kind of shows it's like we looked at him for some other things. You kind of thinking on a similar wavelength as some people. Sometimes you wind up in with similar ideas.
We're vibe guys.
You know, I was gonna say, one of the few artists that I can really think of that matches that, where it's almost like the Vatican catacombs, where you wonder what's in the catalog, is Prince.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Dude.
I would love to dig through Prince's catalog of all the stuff he's recorded, and I would love Dr. Dre. I would love to listen to all the beats that didn't make it, for such a perfectionist,
So my my aunt played guitar for Prince, and shout to Kat Dyson, the best, She's a complete gangster. Look her up. Rolling Stone's 100 best female guitarists. Incredible. So I had to shout her out real quick. Sorry.
By all means. Got a shout.
Yeah,
listen.
He might have the key to the catacombs.
Yeah, dude. If you want to get those catacombs, we'll have to go to Minneapolis. But I'm sure we can make it happen. Yeah, shouts to Sheila E. as well.
Why Burnin Young is the single, though? Of all the songs that you left on the shelf, was there a specific reason that you chose this one? Or is this mostly just like, let's
the other two
throw
are
a
covers.
dart at a...
Well, and as far as songs that happened that day, there was, Loving Cup was supposed to be there, but I didn't know the words, and we didn't want phones in the shot for the video that essentially got lost at sea.
Yeah, you told him about that, right?
Yeah, like we had footage of that whole session, and it got lost at sea.
Literally lost at sea, bro.
What actually happened is our videographer deleted it to make room for Cruise, because he thought we successfully transferred them, but we're bad at technology. But we're gonna go with they got lost at sea because it's way cooler.
It was like the deadliest catch.
Because we didn't want to phone out Loving Cup, we didn't even cut then. We didn't run it. Burnin Young, I think, was one of the first songs that was written that had a bit of that new direction we've been going in lately.
New direction.
And so it was the earliest of those tunes. Like there's a couple that we played out at Whipper that kind of followed in that vein. that weren't written yet at the time or were kind of in their infancy stages. And it just kind of was like, oh, here's a little bit of where we're all going. Let's all rip it together, and we'll see what it sounds like. And then we heard it, and we're like, oh, this is fun. This might have to go out at some point, you know.
Bro, but Jeff, our bass player, had only been in the band for probably 6 months to a year at that point.
And that's his place we were cutting it at, too. That's our bassist studio. He mixed and mastered and tracked all of that.
Yeah, dude. Incredible.
We're the only two members of our band that aren't audio engineers.
Yeah. We're blessed. Yeah, we're super blessed. We're the only two that suck, dude. Yeah, that's what that means.
It was a musician's dream right there.
Oh, my God.
All of my favorite bands, and this is just a personal perspective here, but it's my personal perspective. All my favorite bands are the bands that experiment by playing their live stuff out first. And who knows if or when it will ultimately make it to a record. There are bands like Fish and Humphreys McGee and Widespread Panic that play songs live that are just not on albums. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing we can do about that. We all want a studio recording of All in Time. Like, let's be real. We all do. But, like, that's not up to us. And that makes it, I think, a little bit more magical also when you see it and catch it live. But it's great to know that, like, you're carrying through that tradition of, fuck it, let's just throw it out there and make something fucking awesome happen. And let's just let everyone join the party. I love that.
That's literally what this band is built on. Is fuck it, let's just throw it out there and see what happens. Well, you know what I mean?
And sometimes getting them out there can help you figure stuff out. Like on our first EP, it ends on a song called The 13th, which we've been working on. But I think we were actually we recorded it over a couple days, and we had a show that night. And we didn't really necessarily know how we were going to end the tune. And so we kind of went into a jam space live. And then, I don't know if we got board recordings that night. I think it might have even been Travis who was running this stage at Whipper. Was like, we heard that stuff back. It was like, oh, this is how we should approach the ending to this song. Like, we found it in a jam live. And was like, that's where we got to go.
I would 100% say we are a live first band always. We'll play shit live that you probably will never hear again. You know what I mean?
That's like the quintessential Humphreys McGee, Jimmy Stewart vibe. I love to hear it. So speaking of playing live, are you playing around anywhere to promote the album that's coming up?
So we've got... the big thing we got coming up is we're playing Riverfest, Curtis Dixon Park, middle of downtown Tampa. So that one's going to be a fun one. And then that's probably the big show around the EP release.
We got this EP is more of like we like to call it like our Navy SEALs, like fucking, it's like we're going to get. It's like we're tracking on this one. It's like it's a quick release. We're dropping it, and then we're moving on to things that people need to hear.
You find $20 in your pocket.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah. Let me just use this right share real quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next one.
It's more like finding a $5 because thanks Spotify. But
oh my goodness. It is an absolute treat to talk to you guys always. Folks, keep an eye out for their episode coming on later on in Season 6. And keep an eye out for Burnin Young dropping March 30th and the full EP dropping April 13th. All links to all of their music are going to be in the description of all of these clips and episodes and whatever this becomes. And we will see you later. All right, that's a promo.